This recording is going to be in our website. It's not for public, but it's going to be for our newsletters and for our members. So that's where it's going to go. All right. Well, welcome to Fire Up Connect. I am so glad that you guys are here. How was your weekend? Was it good?
Yep.
Yeah. I know, Dr. Rob, you were just you were saying that you were with the military.
Yeah, I had 3 days of reserve duty, so I got an extra day as well yesterday. So I'm just getting caught up with everything today. It's been insane how many people have reached out to me.
That's good. Okay, so Ron, this is your first time here. Let me give you just an overview of what we're doing here. James Watson, Dr. Rob Garcia, and Brian George are all members of Fire Up Connect, and we meet twice a week. And this is a weekly deal. So we meet every Tuesday at 3 o'clock and every Friday at 11. This is a 1-hour meeting. We're gonna have several sections in our meeting. The first section is what we call Q&A. And then the second part of the meeting is the expert section. Sometimes we have a speaker and sometimes we don't. And this time we don't have a speaker today. But I know George, Brian George is gonna be speaking on the 24th, right, Brian? You're scheduled for the 24th.
Yes, ready, willing, and able.
Yes. So, and then after the expert section, we're gonna have what we call the business share time, where you get to share some of your accomplishments, success stories, or if you want to share some of your challenges, where you can get some feedback or recommendations from the group. And lastly, you can also, maybe share some of your goals that you wanted to accomplish. Okay. And then after that, we're going to try and figure out how we can all collaborate and see if there's any kind of connections that we created from our meeting. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the Q&A. I'll go ahead and ask Ron, because you are the first time visitor here. Can you give us an overview of what you provide in terms of business and what is it about that you love about that?
Certainly. So there's a few different arms onto it. So just to jump straight into it, I have a commercial real estate business, so commercial, residential, and buying apartment complexes and things of that nature. And then on top of that, I have a funding business as well. So we fund small to some large scale investors and business owners, from lines of credit, startup capital from $10,000 up to $300,000, and get underwriting done for real estate investors from $75,000 to $5 million. So doing those two things kind of tie in together, because I have my license and the funding aspect. So I'm able to help people and help different clients in a bunch of ways, means, shape, and fashion. And then I travel and I do motivational speaking at company events, and it's a lot.
Wow, that is awesome. What kind of motivational speaking do you do?
So speak mostly about, sometimes I'll speak to kids and help them out, to navigate through the rigmarole of getting through school and staying motivated, and teachers and being positive, and outlook on life, that sort of deal. But the main scope of the motivational speaking is to entrepreneurs and some business owners. So speaking to the grade level kids, I call them kids because I'm 42. So speaking to the grade level high school kids, and also speaking to some of the college students. And then I turn around and speak to people that are in the corporate world as well. So it's kind of like a scale, depends on where the client needs me to do the motivation at, whatever level they are in life.
Okay, awesome. All right, now, Ron, you get to choose one of the guys here, and you can ask a question also, and they'll have their same turn.
Okay, I like this. James, you're up, baby. Talk to me.
Right. Do you have a question, or you want me to just talk to you?
Yeah, I want you to do both. Well, question. So what do you do? Where are you going? Where you want to be?
All All right. So what I do is I work with small, mid-sized businesses as a sales consultant. So I'm a fractional VP of sales. I had a long, career in corporate America, did the startups and kind of everything in between, and decided to, make it official last June. And so I, launched my own company and became part of this large network of fractional VPs of sales, all of which that called Sales Acceleration. And so there are like 180 of us across the country. And we work typically with small, mid-sized businesses in the $1 to $50 million range, kind of the 10 to 200 and employees. And I have a pretty big most of my background is like in SaaS, software, AI, capital equipment sales, and so forth. So I'd kind of lean over into that realm, although I can work with, pretty much anyone, because 80% of what I'm doing for them, I'm not teaching them about their business. 80% is teaching them process and infrastructure and, how to scale their sales and their profits.
Awesome.
Awesome. Like that.
All right. Okay, James, your turn.
All right. Well, I'll actually come right back at Ron, because I had a question for you on your on your business, both the commercial and the mortgage. And you said are you doing commercial lending as well?
Yes. Yep. Commercial lending as well. Absolutely.
Okay. And are you a broker, or do you roll up to someone?
I'm a broker and I'll do the underwriting. So if I can't do the deal, like say for equipment financing, I'll broker with a couple of, and this is private money, so it's not like Bank of America, stuff like that. I'll broker with some pretty big hedge fund and private money ears. And on the commercial investment, well, it could be residential if you're doing 1 to 4 units, multi-level, multi-family, whatever the case may be, from the 75,000 to 5 million. I'll do those underwriting, and it'll go directly through Morgan Capital Funding.
Okay. Now, do you have employees, or are you solo?
Now, I've got a couple people that work for me. Absolutely.
Okay. So kind of business development.
Well, yeah, I got some people that do the business development. They'll still hit the phones and do all the marketing, the LinkedIn spearing, the email campaign, your duck soups and all that kind of stuff. And they'll shake hands and kiss babies and start dialing for dollars and that sort of deal. And then it rolls up to me, and you know what I mean? And I'll take it from there.
Got it. Well, I appreciate what you do, because I spent 18 years at CoStar Group. You may be familiar.
Yep.
I held a lot of roles there, a lot of leadership roles, and ran divisions. And I was there during the acquisition of LoopNet and Apartments.com.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
All right, James, you
Right.
kind of threw me off with your going back to Ron, because now we don't know who's going to ask next. So
I can ask another person another question. I was just being selfish and asking Ron something.
okay, go ahead.
But I'll ask Brian. Hey, Brian, how you doing?
Good.
So what are your main goals this year? What are you focused on?
My main goals this year. Well, my big goal is to be a 300-pound, 6'9" defensive end for the Dallas Cowboys. So I think I could
Ed Too Tall Jones.
I could work on the 300 pounds. I don't know about the 6'9" part. So, so goal for the year. I one of my primary things, I work with nonprofits to help them get more in donations. I'd like to, there's one I'm working with right now. I'd like to get them an extra $1 million this year in donations. They might be happy with that. I'm not sure. They might not be.
You do that on an ad hoc basis, or do you work for certain like charities on an ongoing basis?
Well, I work with charities who want to work with me.
Okay.
Some don't want to. Some it's too out of the box for them. So the background of that is only between 1 and 2% of household wealth is kept in cash. The rest is held in either businesses or other property, particularly real estate. And all that is accessible to nonprofits if they know how to ask for it.
Yeah.
And if they're set up to receive it. But it can get complicated.
Yeah.
And it's not complicated to ask for money. You know, write me a check, even a big check. It's not complicated to ask for money. It is a little bit more complicated. It takes a little bit more effort to get these other types of donations. But if someone's saying I can't give because I want to leave so much to my family, or I can't give because I'm on a fixed income and I might live too long and need my money, the immediate question is, what if you could do both? And then the answer to the question changes. Well, if I could do both, then yeah, I'd be interested in doing more. So I show people how they can do both.
Mhm.
That's one of the things I do.
All right.
Okay, now Brian, we also have Martha. Martha, welcome to Fire Up Connect. And so we have Martha and Dr. Rob that you can choose. Who would you like to ask?
Well, I think I should pick on Martha. So,
Okay, all right, Martha.
so what's the best thing that happened to you yesterday?
No, that's a good question. I just came out of vacation. So when you come from a vacation, you're like, what am I doing back? So that's a good question. Man, what happened that was good?
Well,
It was a tragic,
you
it
came
was a
from,
tragic
California,
day.
right?
Yeah, we came from California. It was a tragic day, to be honest. Our dog died. One of our dogs died.
Oh,
Yeah, so that was really sad. I guess a good thing that happened was I came to work. I have a job. I don't really have a really good thing that happened yesterday. Yesterday was kind of a bummer.
You
I
woke
guess
up.
I'm alive. I'm alive. So I
Right,
just,
you woke up. That was good. So,
yeah, I woke up. Yesterday, that was a good thing. I woke up.
all right. Okay, Martha, you have Dr. Rob.
Rob, Dr. Rob, okay. Are you actually a doctor or you just use that?
I'm a doctor, but not the kind that helps anybody. I have a doctorate in educational leadership. I am a former college professor.
PhD.
Okay, then we need to call you doctor. I'm working on getting my PhD too. So I used to be like, hey, it doesn't matter if they eventually call me doctor. Now it matters because it's hard to get a PhD. So you're well deserved.
Thank you. 6.5 years.
Wow.
Oh,
So
Wow.
why did you choose that? Do you still use your degree or no?
oh yeah, I teach business strategies to a global audience, and all the stuff I learned in the program helps me to disseminate information better and be a better instructor.
Wow.
Nice. Thank you.
Okay, Dr. Rob, you get to ask me a question.
All right, Marie, let's see. Tell me about your upcoming, if you have a TV project. I'm really interested in TV stuff.
TV project. Well, the one that I'm working on right now was the TV reality show for Finest Women in Real Estate. So it's in the process right now. We did a couple of filmings, but I still wanted to do the movie project, which I'm planning to do a big event in August for all the real men in real estate to come together and kind of propose that movie project. But in terms of the TV show, that's the only thing I'm working on right now. I'm very focused on the radio shows that I have, and also building the organization, the International Wealth Builders Association and the Global Society for Female Entrepreneurs. So those are the things that I'm focusing on right now. And as you all know, I make a lot of my money from the real estate land development projects also. Okay, is that good? All right, let's go to the next part of our meeting, which is what we call expert section. And so let's see, this time I would like to talk about building your empire, okay? What is it about in your business that you would like to build as, you know, building the empire of your business? So who would like to start that discussion? James, Dr. Rob, Brian, Martha? I'm gonna go ahead first with you guys before Ron, because this is his first time.
So being part of this group is part of building my empire.
Okay.
So, and you and I have had this discussion before, Marie.
Mhm.
So you can ignore what I'm getting ready to say. So I was thinking that I'm a pretty decent storyteller, and I have a pretty compelling story to tell, but it's really only impactful for a small portion of the population, the wealthy and ultra wealthy. And I didn't know very many of those people. So how do I get in front of these people to tell this story when they don't know I exist? So my strategy was to reach out to their trusted advisors, their attorneys, their CPAs, their other wealth advisors, and introduce them to some of these nuanced strategies. And then if the fact pattern fit, then they would introduce me to their clients. And then I expanded it to real estate developers and investors and real estate brokers, because one of the strategies is deferring or eliminating capital gains taxes, which is a special interest to real estate investors because it can be a big deal for them. So, so this is part of my networking outreach, to meet more people and to build not a lot of shallow relationships, but to build some deep relationships with a core group of people. And then everybody benefits from that. So this is an extension of what I've been doing, because Marie reached out and she convinced me that this would be a good thing for me to do. And she didn't even have to threaten to beat me up if I said no. So.
Okay, that's awesome, Brian. Okay, who would like to go next? James, go ahead.
Oh yeah, I'll go ahead. So kind of in terms of what I'm really focused on doing right now is I'm doing it, but it's a slow burn. You know, as anyone knows, starting their own company, it takes a lot of work and time, and things can take longer. But I really focused on the networking, you know, aspects of it, kind of like Brian is talking about, is, you know, having those connections, and then focusing on building up that ecosystem of people that are kind of in you know, my wheelhouse, you know, that work on with the same types of clients. And I've done that, and now I've got a couple, you know, clients on board over the last couple of months, and my goal is to get up, and I've got them in queue now to get there, is to have 4 at any given time, because that kind of, I could maybe do 5, but then I'm really maxing out because of, you know, there's only so many hours in the week. But it's coming along, and so I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. A challenge part of that is that now that I have these clients, is managing the time so that I stay consistent and come to meetings like this. I talked to Marie about this when she was giving me a hard time for not coming for a few weeks, but she knew I had new clients because I used to come pretty much every Tuesday. So I'm now going to start carving out more time, and I have other groups I'm part of, like Provisors and different groups as well. But I think it's important you can't stop doing that.
That's right. Okay, who's next? Martha, Dr. Rob?
I'll take this. So I put in chat just one of the ways that I expanded, because I'm a big believer in having a good local area network of real people you've met in person, but also having an online presence. But one thing that brings both together, besides going to meetings like this, is starting a media platform. And so I started Shift Magazine about 5 years ago. It's been a source of revenue as far as passive income with ad sales and paid features, but I've also got an interview like Delta Force, SEAL Team 6, and some 7-figure coaches, just wild people. It's helped out my business networking a lot, but it also provides credibility to my business brand. And it's not very hard, guys. If you don't want to go the full route of like a podcast or a magazine, just jump on Zoom, start recording interviews, and just call it something, and just start doing regular interviews and just pushing them out there a little bit. But it makes you look, it elevates you in the eyes of your audience and makes you look a lot more professional.
Awesome. Thank you, Dr. Rob. Okay, Martha.
I agree with Rob. So I'm taking a path like this. So I'm creating a series. I told this to Marie about, called Business Divas. So I'm gathering 22 author women who are leading in business. So I'm going to do a series of these books, and it's good because that's one way of getting clients and also to be the respected figure, the leader in business per se. I'm doing that. I'm doing the Fire Up Connect radio show with Marie. So when people hear that you do a radio, it becomes a big thing when you're a host to a radio. I'm like, oh, I'm just talking, but people find that impressive. So that's the second one. What's the other thing I'm working on? I'm working on a series, on a like a reality show about how I work with companies. I already have my storyboard outlined. It's just a matter of getting the details. I also found a videographer, Marie, that actually will be really good, because I already tried this with a videographer, wasn't that good. So I'm trying with someone new who has a young perspective. I think that's going to help a lot. We take sometimes young people for granted, but they have a lot of talents that can be useful for this. So I have a lot of marketing behind that I'm working on to make this happen, because next year I want to be this famous celebrity person in terms of building companies. So I have my own conference that's full of people, and I teach them how to use numbers to grow their business. So there's going to be not just me, a bunch of other speakers that throughout this course, through the radio and through the book series, I will have them either be as speakers or people who participate on this. So it's awesome. I'll have two conferences. I don't know how, but my palette conference and my consulting conference. So it's going to be a lot of work.
Wow, that is awesome, Martha. Woo, you make us proud. Okay, Ron, what about you?
Man, after hearing all these rock stars talk, it's an amazing thing. So if I'm answering the question appropriately, a couple of things I'm working on is, obviously I like helping people. So, a while ago, I took my mindset out of being in the sales business and be in the help business. So I want to help as many as I can, attain funding, reach their dreams, goals, that kind of stuff. And, it's like life. It's a relationship business. So, this is a full contact sport. So the more hands you shake, the more money you make. So I'm making the attempts in accountability and executing like the same message and goals that I teach, move, motivate, and influence, so we can shake hands and, make some more contacts and help some more people.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Ron. Okay, I think the reason why I wanted to talk about building your empire is really it comprises a lot more just putting together your process of creating more business. You also have to think about how you constantly communicate with people and how you create this relationship. And part of it is, creating that reputation, the credibility, and the branding that you have for your business. Because once you establish all of those, you're attracting people to you. So, which is what we call the pull marketing. So the more you communicate with people, like in the networking, how do you present yourself in the networking when you're coming into a meeting? How do you communicate to people? Because I've had some talk with the other members where, they're very busy, but they're not present in the meeting. They're trying to attend and do multiple things at once, and they're very distracted with what they're doing, but they're not connecting with the people that are in the meeting. So that shows, not being focused. So part of it is how you present yourself to others when you're building your empire, is to create that respect, the level of respect and your presentation to other people. How do you communicate? Is it impressive? Is it energetic? Is it some people would love to be, just talking to you or just listening to you? Those are the things that you want to keep in mind, because, all of you have amazing personality, and you're very, you're very valuable to what you do in the business. And that's something that we all need to always keep in mind. And that's why I like to talk about this subject. Anyway, take 30 seconds of your time, put your comments in the chat, and give us your feedback of what you learned from this section of our meeting, from whatever you heard from everyone else. Anything that you think about it, observation, you can put it on chat. We'll take 30 seconds. Awesome. Yeah, Ron's comment on handshakes and income reminds Dr. Rob that I need to reach out to his new leads soon. And Ron, communication is key along with active listening. Yes, absolutely. From Ryan, I keep hearing more and more about using media more to promote me and what value I bring. Absolutely. And I think we're waiting for James. Martha, it is important to be aware of the perception of what others see and think of us. We have to be ourselves, of course, but aware that has consequences to those who we try to sell our services to. And Dr. Rob says attract, connect, create value, qualify, and sell. Wow, awesome. You guys are awesome. Okay, make sure that you save your chat and also take your time to go ahead and put your information, your contact information, so we don't forget about it while we're going through this meeting. So everybody can connect after the meeting, okay? Put your contact. All right, so while you guys are doing that, we're gonna move on to the next part of our meeting, which is what we call business share time. And this is where you have, a couple of minutes to talk about any success stories that you can, give us some information of what you have accomplished or a specific challenge that you are dealing with and you want some feedback or comments from the group, or a specific goal that you are really, motivated to accomplish. Okay, so who would like to start?
I'll start.
Okay, Martha, go for it.
I'm putting a program together. It's an 8-week program called The Power of Data. I'm gonna launch it. The target date is August 22. So I already created the marketing material to announce it, like coming soon. I also have a small event where I will introduce it to people there. And then I have a bigger event where I'll introduce it to a bigger audience. And I'm also introducing it to the girls in my book too. So I have 3 points where I have audiences where I would introduce it to. So it's exciting. I have a date. So now that you're stuck with a date and say it's coming soon, there's no way of going back. And the program outline is already set. So it's just of me creating the material for that outline.
Awesome.
So I'm excited.
Congratulations, Martha. That's awesome. All right, who's next? Okay, James.
I'll go. So in terms of like success story, I would say that when I was working on my first client, I had to go back because even though I've done consulting before and I've had gigs, but not under my current brand and name. And so they want to know, who am I working with now? Well, right now I wasn't working with anyone. I was focused on the networking, so I could pull back on other things. But this first prospective client wanted to talk to people, and so I put him in touch with like another VP I work for, and then another company that I had helped to succeed. When there was another outside consultant that was there, and got that gig. And then when I got referred over into another opportunity, that next individual wanted to have a reference. And I was a month in with about a month and a half in with this first client. And it was going so well that he was willing to already give me the recommendation. And
Wow.
and he's there in the same industry, and that sealed it.
Wow, that is awesome, James. Do you have that in writing and or a video?
No.
You gotta get that testimonial.
I have actually I put it in the chat box. I've got a 1-minute animated video that is that I had done that is a success story based on one of the gigs that I did, and it is done professionally and with the voiceover and all that, and
Okay.
It's gotten pretty good feedback. So I have that, but maybe I need to capture.
Yeah, and put it in writing.
I've been doing podcasts and I've been doing your radio show. And so I've been getting in webinars. And so I'm doing a lot more stuff like people are talking about here, like Dr. Rob is talking about with, getting out there and, interviewing people, doing the shows and, putting yourself out there.
Awesome. Okay. All right. Congratulations. Okay. Who's next? Okay. I'll go pick Dr. Rob.
All right, as far as wins go, this week I got tasked with a very last minute project to help a woman, Navy vet, single mom that was in a domestic situation. She had to move and she needed like $500. So I did a fundraiser with my magazine, offered some specialized discounted packages, and I was able to send her like $1,100. So we got a nonprofit involved, and she's very happy right now. So that was my win.
Awesome. And that was really nice, Dr. Rob. You're always nice.
I try.
All right. Brian?
So I met with a nonprofit today who wants me to join their development committee and educate their board on planned giving strategies, and actually start speaking at some events to educate their donor base on planned giving also. So that was a win.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Wow, you guys have to keep track of all your accomplishments and put it in writing and document, and make sure that you even, any related photos should be in there. Because, when someone is trying to, do some research on you, you already have everything put together and it's easy to send it to them. All right, Ron.
All right. So a success story. So this is a good one. So there's a client I go to the West Coast and coach and train, and I'm in front of this whole group of peoples, and I speak a couple of different languages, and this particular audience group was all Spanish based. And sometimes how sometimes you speak in front of people and you be like, are they listening? Am I boring? Am I not good? Is the message not getting across? Well, you know what I mean? I don't know, is it working? Maybe my slideshow isn't good, or my shirt isn't cool. But anyhow, standing ovation, thankfully, at the end. But the success part is there was a particular individual that was there, and he happened to be a sales manager at this company. And young fella, he was probably about 20 at the time. And fast forward 2 years later, he gave me a call. He said, "Hey, Ron, I'm not with the company anymore. I have my own company." I was like, "Oh, that's great. That's awesome." He says, "I want to fly you out, man, and, get you to come, coach us and all that kind of stuff." Awesome. That's great. That is amazing. So I get there, I'm talking, and he says, "Man, Ron, thankfully, some of the things that you've helped coach us with in the past, and the message that you've given me, it gave me the push and the fortitude for me to start my own business." And
Wow.
he started in the automotive business, and he just got his second $2 million line of credit. He's like 22 years old, and his income is through the roof. Now, I can't take credit for all that because he's got a great mom, great dad, great grandparents, and great family. But, he said that, not even but, period. And he said the messages and, some of the stories, because everything that I give is like a life experience. So that was very humbling, and I appreciated it very much. So that was a good success story for me.
Wow, that is
And it came up because I'm here in the same city right now that he flew me out to. I got to coach some of his new people and get them loaded up.
That is awesome. Oh my gosh. Okay. Wow. Great stories, you guys. Let me see. For me, I actually just came back from Texas and did a filming participation with one of the movies. Anybody heard The Chosen? There's an app, and it's free for you to download it. And I was one of the 5,000 people that was being fed by Jesus in this movie. So it was really interesting in terms of how they processed the entire event, because they had this luxurious buses. And actually we had to take PCR testing for COVID before we flew. And then when we got there, they also have to still do some testing before we can go in to the facility. And then when we have to walk, and then they have all this bus waiting, okay? And it's a very nice bus, and everybody's lining up. And then after that, they took us to a camp where it's an open field. And then as soon as you come in, there's a gift shop with a lot of great things in there. And then they have another tent for food, drinks, and then they have another stage for entertainment. And then they have two big tents for a lot of people. They're very organized. The people are, very proactive in giving you cold, water, because they don't want people to get dehydrated. And so they're very proactive. So you can see that they know what they're doing in terms of planning this entire movie production. And it's giving me a lot of insight in terms of what I need to learn if I have to put another, project or another event. And it's really about, getting a lot of people, a lot of volunteers to help to make that happen, because I'm planning to do a Fire Up Live event this year. And I'm talking to a big hotel here in San Diego, and I'm thinking putting this year's Fire Up Live, where I'm bringing all the Fire Up Connect members to, be able to promote their businesses and all of that. And Martha, you're doing a big event. I really proud of you for, taking that challenge, because it's not easy, especially, if you're dealing with so many people. So that's one thing that I'm working on. It's more specific to all the organizations that I'm doing Fire Up Live with the Global Society for Female Entrepreneurs and the International Wealth Builders Association. And interesting, I got a call from one of my connection who's a lawyer, and he wants me to, he's proposing another project to me, which is, I don't know if I can take on another project. But it's interesting how people come to me for so many different projects, and I'm really, really excited about all of this. I actually have another client that I just reached out to Dr. Rob and James Fu for media visibility and exposure, TV interviews. They have the resources, so I'm glad that I have you guys here, because I'm able to help other people because of your resources. And that's something about the Fire Up Connect group. Because, by the way, Brian, I was talking to two ladies last night. They were talking about crypto, for insurance. So I'm not really sure if that is something that you are familiar, or, if you are, you have knowledge about, where, you can use the crypto for insurance coverages, something to talk about maybe later. And I know that I'm excited to learn from you. You're presenting on June 24th about the real estate market. Am I right? That's the topic that you're having.
Yes.
Okay, so everyone, make sure that you don't miss that meeting, because Brian, I've had an interview with Brian, and he is absolutely amazing. One of the best people that we have also in this group. You guys are all amazing, to be honest with you, and we're so blessed with so many great people here that are very, experienced. They have a lot to share, and so you need to take the time to do a follow-up. Do one-on-one after the meeting, have some time to talk to each other and really collaborate and find ways to, create opportunities. Because every time I meet people, I always get new opportunities for me. I mean, it's crazy. It's there. Everything is there. We just have to really learn how to gravitate to those opportunities and make it happen. And so that's what we do here. Now, let me get some feedback from everyone about our meeting. And actually, Ron, I know this is your first time. Did you find any kind of collaboration opportunities, and what did you think about our meeting today?
No, not that I found any, I found a lot.
Awesome.
A lot. I love this type of platforms and atmospheres. I think it's phenomenal, and it's awesome to be able to speak with like minds, and because everyone has something that you can offer someone else. You may have a pumpkin pie and I may have a lemon meringue pie, and I'm missing a couple slices on mine, and you may be missing a slice, and we just come together and we both get full off each other. So I think it's awesome to build, pour in ideas and share good energies, and to build and brand. I think it's amazing.
Thank you. All right, Ron, thank you. How about James? What did you think about our meeting today? Oh, your microphone, please.
Thanks. Yeah, no, I thought it was a good meeting, even though it's a small group, but it's a good group. And, you know, I've met Rob before and Martha, of course, but it's first time meeting Brian and Ron. So it's nice to meet both of you. And it's always interesting to hear about, you know, people's new, or you know, what people are doing. And, you know, a lot of times it's very unique, you know, I haven't run into too many people that are, you know, doing like what Brian does. And Ron is unique because he's going across, you know, both the mortgage side, the lending side, and the brokerage side. So, you know, definitely want to continue the conversations with the people I've already, you know, started with, and then I'd love to do one-on-ones with you guys to learn more and, you know, figure out how, you know, I can be a potential resource.
Yeah, and James, you've got so much connections because you've referred me to so many people already too. So you're such an asset. Okay, Dr. Rob, what about you? I mean, Dr. Rob is also one of those people that's just well connected.
What was the question, Marie?
What's your feedback?
Oh, just feedback in the group. Just I'll tell you guys, consistency is everything, and the quality of people that I've met in this group have been incredible. Marie does not know any boring people. Everybody she attracts into this group has some amazing, phenomenal skill. And I like Pyron, so I'll be reaching out.
Thank you, Dr. Rob. You gotta meet Dr. Rob's group too. He's got an incredible group of meetings, and it's an extension of what you can get from these meetings. All right, Martha, what about you?
This is like the only group I'm in really when it comes to networking. So I love it. I love that everyone comes from different industries, different perspectives, different experiences. So I'm always learning, even from the building an empire. It's motivating to see people working on their goals and also learning from their challenges, because maybe they're dealing with something that I'm going to deal with, and maybe I know something to avoid the hiccups on the way. So it's a blessing to be part of this program, and for you to be on my side, Marie. You're a wonderful mentor.
Oh,
Marie is an angel. So make sure you connect with her, Ron. You want to
Mhm.
stay here.
Thank you. And you know, Martha has a very aggressive ambition when it comes to her goals. I mean, you know, and she spoke it loudly and broadcasted on the radio what her goal is. And that's like courage and being bold about, you know, what you want in life. And I love what she does in her business. Brian.
So I agree that I have not met any boring people at any of these meetings. I get to meet at least one new person every meeting. I've had some one-on-one conversations. I do need to remind Martha that she wanted some more information about the what I do for charities. So I put a link to my calendar in the chat. But now you have no excuse. And you can all reach out to me because not only are you all very good at what you do, you all know people that I don't know that I might need to meet, and vice versa. I know people that you might need to meet. So that is the beauty of networking and building deep relationships.
Yeah, I mean, everyone here has so much to offer, and you know, feel very honored to be around you guys. The fact that you know, I have had one-on-one conversations with all of you, and I know the extensive of your connections, and people don't even know that because, you know, they look at, you know, they look at people and they don't go beyond the conversations, and that's what's missing in some of the networkings, because they don't go beyond that. So here in Fire Connect, I want to make sure that, you know, you understand that the presence of these people is incredible. It's just has so much, you know, value and opportunities that you can get from each one of them. And I am very, very thankful that we have this organization, that we were able to set this up and meet all of you. I mean, we're from everywhere. It's just amazing how this opens up for us. Anyway, I thank you for your time. We do have time here. I just wanted to open this up for any questions. Ron, I know this is your first time. Do you have any questions at all in this group, or whatever you have in mind?
No, actually, I don't. I can pretty much get a feel for the format. You broke it down into the segment, and that was the rubric, for lack of a better words. And I, it's pretty much straightforward. We're on here connecting and serious minds and people doing some serious special things. And I think Brian summed up some great words. You know, we all know some people that we all should meet, and vice versa. And I think this platform it's pretty good. This is an intimate converse. I'm pretty sure you probably have hundreds and tens of 20s, but this is very intimate, and I can appreciate that. So
Yeah, and
definitely, thank you for having me.
thank you, Ron. And from what I heard from you, I already have some few things that I wanted to talk to you about. So that's the beauty of having time to talk and learn, and because it opens up so many ideas. Any other questions from the members or any announcements?
So I have a comment, not a question. So people that have known me for a long time have heard me say many times that every sword has two edges. And we went through a pandemic, which was pretty terrible. But something positive for that, or that came from that, was that people got used to working remotely. So having these kind of conversations, more people are open to them now, and making these long distance relationships. I mean, I had a large CPA firm in Florida called me to discuss something with their client in Texas, and I'm in the Seattle area. I have a meeting with a person in San Diego via Zoom on Wednesday, and their CPA who's in Utah, because people have gotten used to doing this. So some people complain, I can't meet people face to face, and you can do that again now, but I did my best to take advantage of people being much more open to working remotely. And, this is where it's got me, talking to you guys.
Yeah. Well, it expanded my connections during the COVID. It actually tripled my connection. And I was surprised how it all turned out. I know Paul came to visit Martha, and he's from New Mexico. How was that visit, Martha? Was he?
It was awesome. We had donuts. So we first had Italian food. They had really good stuffed mushrooms. I love stuffed mushrooms. So that was delicious. I had a little wine. I don't drink, guys, but this time I'm like, oh, this is a nice downtown place. I don't go to the city a lot. So that was fun. The donuts are really good. He tried the donuts here in Chicago, and I forgot what the name was, but they're some of the best donuts.
Yeah,
It was fun. It was fun to connect with him. I mean, I feel comfortable if I meet with any of you, your respective states. It feels like I just didn't meet you right now. I knew you for a while. So it was very comfortable meeting Paul. It was what I expected, a friendly conversation, and he's gonna come back. And I told him when he comes back, I can pick him up from the airport and I can give him a planned tour, because I really want to give him a planned tour.
Wow, that was awesome. They called me and said, hey, Marie, I'm here with Martha in Chicago. I was surprised. Imagine, from New Mexico to Chicago through Fire Up Connect. Okay, any other comments, announcement, questions, Dr. Rob?
Yeah, really quick. Martha, you're in Chicago. Do you know Lauren Harris?
No, what is?
Okay. So I'm going to hook you up. This is the power of Fire Up Connect. Lauren Harris has an interview show. He's a global speaker. He's been on a few magazine covers, very well known. He has a morning show where he interviews an expert every single morning. So I just sent you a Facebook friend request. If you reach out to Lauren Harris and you say, hey, Dr. Rob sent me, said I'd be a great guest for the show, you'll get an hour-long interview broadcast to his audience. It won't cost you anything.
Wow, that's
Ooh.
awesome. Woo.
I would do that. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
What a
Mark,
gift.
were you visiting Chicago, or are you in Chicago? Because when I met you, you were in San Diego, but I didn't know you came from out of town.
I'm out of town. I'm from Chicago, but I fly a lot. I'm not afraid to fly.
When I just chatted with you, I'm all, yeah, we should, because we were planning on getting together again, and I'm all, let's grab coffee or lunch, and I'm all, I'd have to fly to Chicago. I thought you were local.
Yeah, so Martha flew all the way down from Chicago to our event here in San Diego, and that's
I did
how
not know that.
James and and Martha ended up talking to each other. It was really amazing how this all connections are just really very fruitful for all of us. Any other announcement, comments? James, you have anything else?
No, I mean, to just kind of echo what Brian was saying, that as bad as the pandemic was, if you're looking at a silver lining of it and something good that came out of it, I think it did really bridge the gaps. And a lot of people that would have never done what we're doing right now, frankly, we're forced to do it. And, I mean, and I, for example, I have meetings with people in Europe, like in Barcelona and in London. My last consulting gig before I started my company was in Seoul, South Korea for a tech company. So it's changed the world.
Wow.
That's the positive side of it. That's the good side of it, that double-edged sword.
Now you are so busy. You've got too many clients and you're too busy for us.
No, I needed to, what happened was I just got so busy and I wasn't before I was doing pure networking and focused on it. And then all of a sudden I got caught up. And so it's just really, it's a time management thing. And I can't stop doing it. I have to carve out that time and say, okay, I'm going to do X amount each week and just block it off.
Oh, that one fell.
So that people can't, I have to block off time because I found myself getting booked all the time by my own clients, which is a whole other conversation I had to have with them about, cooling it on the hours.
Yeah. I actually connected James to another person for a project. So he's been very good in helping that client. And I mean, this is what we do. We try to create opportunities, and Ron, FireUp Connect is an amazing platform. If you are interested in joining us, you can just go to fireupconnect.com, and you can even have a one-on-one meeting with me. And if you need more information about it, I can talk to you more about that. Okay. I'll go ahead and put my information on chat, and make sure that you save the information here, and make sure that you follow up with everyone. Okay. All right, so this is my cell phone, and my email is finest. See, when you're typing, so finest women in real estate. By the way, Ron, I do have a group called Real Men of Real Estate. You will fit right into it. So I'll show you some of those information. It's really awesome. Okay. Anyway, thank you so much, everyone. You guys are amazing. Have a great week, and I will see you Friday. We have our meeting. Next meeting is Friday at 11 a.m. Hopefully we get to see you again and meet more people. And, have a blessed day, you guys. All right.
You too. Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.